Greetings guys, this is BlazeRage back again with another video. Today I figured we'd try the Dual Web Breacher. Now I was pleasantly surprised flying this actually. Dude, I didn't expect this to be do as well as what it did, man. I'm usually very keen for the Dual Web Breacher, right? Like take one of his webs up to a medium ansi. But this fit has like a different engagement profile. It allows you to actually take on some like faction frigates I wouldn't otherwise take on with say the Dual Rep one, right? So like Comets, pretty much. So dual webs, the extra range control is really nice, and like dealing with comets, right? Blasters, you're going to keep at range 5 to 8k depending on what ammo they're loading. Rail ones, you just want to get underneath their guns. We'll see that in upcoming fights. The addition of the second web also allows us to use rage against frigates, which is really nice because it increases our DPS to, with the implants in the Paralantia, to over 200 DPS, which is almost fully applied to slow stuff. Which is pretty gnarly, man. Like, the second web adds a lot for you. Our tank isn't really good. We have the same kind of tank that you'd probably expect in, like, an Etron or something. With the second web, man, we have, like, ways to, like, reduce incoming damage with our range control. Most gunboats you want to fight, Tristans you can do. Missile boats, you can do Kestrel. But I find if you're going to fight another Breacher that's a dual rep one, you're probably going to have a hard time beating it. Because you don't have that much more DPS and you have a lot less tank than one of those Breachers, so that can be a bit of a hard one for you. So like one that's going to be really rough for you. And say, like you can do faction frigates, right? I do like Comets, Crucifier Navy issues, Griffin Navy Griffin, you know, the Griffin Navy issue. Like stuff like that. I wouldn't go for like say like the Hook Bill or the Vigil Fleetness. You might be able to kill a Vigil Fleetness actually. If they underestimate you, it'd be pretty damn hard to fight though. I can't really see it happening, but definitely not a Hook Bill. But yeah, I just like the idea that this can fight faction frigates, right? I like that addition as opposed to like the dual rep one, right? Like I say, we're using some implants. They aren't really necessary. The only one that's necessary is that 1% CPU. You could maybe, if you don't do implants and not the CPU implant, you could probably just reduce one of those webs to compact. Now probably do you solid. I'm using Hobgoblins. It's generally flavor. Hornets can be good. Warriors, I don't really recommend Acolytes. You don't really see many pure shield ships. And even if they fit that like a EM rig that most shield sort of fits do, you're probably better off using the thermal anyway, and the Hobgoblins are better for that. Yeah, there's not too much to cover with this fit, so yeah, let's go to the fights, boys. Okay, speaking of Comets, we have two fights against Comets, first being Blaster, second being Rail. What I was initially doing when I was fighting Comets was keeping my default orbit to 5k and using Rage. But for whatever reason, I found that a better way for me to do this is use Faction Missiles and orbit 8k. I had no idea what this guy was coming in with. You'll see with the Rail Comet, right? Ideally, you want to be actually warping into Comets. Use that in vulnerability time, just to like check their guns, and then you can see like what's up. It can be a bit rough, like doing this strat, like orbiting out at 8k, and then it being a rail one, right? Because that time that it takes you to get in close, you're going to have a very hard time. So the safer play might have actually been what I was doing initially, keep at 5k of Rage. I just find for Rage, like see if you start orbiting like 7.5 or 8k, sometimes your missiles don't apply, so there's always a little bit stressed about this. I really like using faction missiles against a Comet. So it allows me to like dip in and out of ranges without having to switch ammos or worrying about our missiles not applying. So getting to the target. So you see that this gentleman's running not so much a hull tank Comet, it's more of a more active kind of red one, not the one you'd normally see. You'll see that we're still struggling for cap. I don't know if we got cap penalty in our exile, but cap is actually going to be an issue on this Breacher, even without like a cap penalty on an exile. So just be wary of this and expect, like, you're going up against a Comet, it's still going to be a relatively hard fight just because of how tanky they are, right? You are doing nice DPS, but yes, it still takes quite some time. So we get this one just like very close, like. So you'll see us do the same strat in this Comet, right, at orbit 8k. And then I clock on very quickly that he's got rails, like boom, see rails. Then we need to orbit 500. Coming back into that orbit's really, really rough, man. You'll see. Like, you just need to tank that as you come in. Just keep to note as well, this gentleman's actually not got T2 hull rigs, he's using T1 hull rigs, and he seems to be a newer player. So just keep that in mind when fighting this guy. If it's like a fully skilled rail comet, it might have been a harder fight. I'm not sure how like injected this gentleman was, but yeah. Once we got our these guns, you can see we're tanking Fang, and everything is going very well for us. So ideally, you want to be warping into comets. Just be careful of those dual web blaster comets, right? Clock onto those dual webs quickly and warp out, because there's no pulling from one of those dual web AB comets. Okay, here we have a fight against a Tormentor. I thought it was going to be a super easy fight. I believe this gentleman warp into me. I was going to orbit 500. If you use your web, we're still going to get these guns. And if you use web scram, I was like, dude, easy. But you'll see, he pulls a lot of range at the start here. And as I come in to get the tight orbit, I take some massive hits, bro. I thought we lost at this point. So I double click in space, try and get our transversal up a little bit, and then bring our orbit into 500. We might just pull it off, boys. That insane DPS for putting out in this breacher just like overwhelms it really quickly. But that like little approach at the start was super scary. I'm surprised how much the range he pulled. Now this Rifter's at 400, small and sea Rifter. This has a lot of tank. And I can't remember. I think I'm using faction missiles in this one actually. Because again, like I always feel really stressed them like orbiting like out to like 8k with rage missiles. So I find that sometimes they don't like actually apply to the target. Just because we have about 8.4k range with a rage missile, so sometimes you want to be using faction if you're scram kiting out this far. I also tend to overheat the scram when I'm out this far, just so we have that 11k range scram. But you'll see, man, this is still going to be a very close fight. This Rifter is incredibly tanky. We don't have much tank on our side, but we have the range control and relatively nice DPS. I should be out in somewhat far fall off here, but this is far enough away as to where you can still get some good hits on us. He has a cheeky like 200 wrecking hit as well in there, which makes this very much closer. You see our caps also become a problem. It's an incredibly close fight in GF Theater. Okay, here we have a fight against Firetails. Oh, I always expect Firetails to be RDG web. So I immediately go into this plex, orbit this guy 500. Notice he hasn't pulling range here. Autos. Dude, the newt threw me off. Like, oh, damn. So then we keep at 7k, hopefully that'll keep us out in newt range, and his autos won't be getting hitting out very far. So Firetail doesn't get a fall off bonus. So his autos will still be hitting us out this range, but I think we'll be in very far fall off here. You'll notice I'm kind of worried about cap a lot in this fight, just because of that newt hit us initially. It's very weird that he pulled that off us. I noticed he took that newt off us, and if he kept that on, we might have lost this fight. But yeah, regardless of him like not doing that, it was still a very close fight. Now this is a dual web RT Firetail, and this is a very, 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 very hard fight for the breacher. Yeah, ideally you want to get under his guns, but that's very hard just because his Firetail has the better base speed. Firetails tend to fit dual T1 webs though, so I was sort of hoping that like either it'd be not a very competent pilot, or maybe get underneath the gun somehow. You see that I'm double clicking space around them as opposed to orbiting them manually. That would just bring in this into an approach. So you'll see this fight is also, this is a very close fight regardless, but I generally expect to lose this fight against a dual web RD Firetail, and especially against a competent pilot like something like Dieter. But you'll see, man, I think we get quite lucky for hit RNG. We get a nice little rep there. We're so close, man. It's so close. But you shall see the outcome of this and we lose. So GF again. Okay, here we have a fight against two Etrons, both of which do different tactics. This first one uses Void and tries to kill us before we pull range. The second will be a fight where it just constantly uses Null. You'll see both how these sort of handle, right? I set my default keeper at 6.5k. Our safer play would have honestly just probably used faction missiles and orbit 8k. Just overheat that scram and pray. But you'll see it's very spicy as we pull range here. We nearly get alpha'd. But once we get out of his Void and anti-range, we're pretty golden. He does end up loading Null, but it was too little too late. I believe he started reloading as we were just about to kill him. Had he loaded Null from the get-go, we might have actually lost this. But since he was forced to do that reload, we win, because we were able to pull range. Not many people expected your webs and being able to pull from an Etron in a breacher, which is sweet. So you'll notice this pilot uses Null this whole fight, which is a smart play. I keep my default orbit at 5.5, and then I bring out to 7 and 5, and trying to get out and fall off a little bit, right? Since we have range control here, but the Etron gets a fall off bonus, so it hits out of Null to almost about 10k. I think it's like 9.5 fall off, but you're still getting an occasional little grazing hit out of that range, so it can still be quite rough here. I would like to keep that orbit range out further, but just because our refraction missiles can only hit out to 10k, we can't really do that. So you'll see how close this fight is, man. Do expect it to be kinda a rough fight against an Etron. Okay, here we have 2 fights against 2 Merlins, one in which I do it correctly, and one in which I do it wrong. I keep this gentleman orbiting at 5k and using rage missiles here. I was very overconfident in my speed in this one. I wasn't actually expecting him to be faster than me or able to get into range. So I'm not sure if he was using like an overclocker for an extra little bit of speed or not. But usually like if I had known that he's maybe that fast, I would have kept my default orbit at 8k. And also the safer play to shoot at Merlins is Nova. There's a reason for this. This second one, I'm a bit smarter. I keep my default keep at 8k, so it takes him longer to get into range if he has the capabilities to be faster than us, right? Had he been rails, it might have been a bit rough, but even then, I think we still sort of, the tank and DPS ratio is sort of somewhere, and then we can maybe get into tight orbit. But at this range, this Merlin is in a very bad spot. He has null load. He tries to escape. Notice this approach, and it's not looking very good for this. This Merlin, unfortunately. This is the right way to do it. And I don't think this guy was using overclock or something. Maybe we pyre lands here or something. So yeah, I expect to be faster than most dual web things. And there we have it, boys. That's all the fights I had for you. I hope you enjoyed it. As for why to use Nova against Merlins, there's a reason for this. The 2 most common Merlins you see these days are just like dual web medium shield extender or dual web small anti. And now the dual web small anti one's dangerous because it has a scram, right? So if you're scrammed, you don't have range control, you really want to be using Rage, Nova Rage. And most things are faster than the regular medium shield extender AB web scram, so you can range control that, right? So ideally you want to be shooting Nova, because if it is a shield dual web one, can't pull range, you can just warp off. But if it's a dual web armor one, and you're using the wrong type of ammo, you're in a very bad spot because you can't escape or disengage. So that's just sort of the reasoning for Nova against Merlins. You know, who would have thought, right? People in their weird armor fits for goddamn shield fits. Who would have thought, right? You know. But yeah, I'm surprised actually how well this Breacher did, man. I'm just like, I'm surprised actually how nice the tank was on it, even without the medium anti. Like, who needs that shield bonus anyway, boys? But yes, okay, that's our video done, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Who knows what's gonna be the next video? I don't know what I'm flying these days. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, boys. It does humble me when you watch my videos. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys.